Of all the rules you don't want to break, Omerta is probably the most important. Omerta is a code of silence that forbids mafiosi to speak about
Okay, guess we doing just fine. Said I'm not yours, so I'll say you're not mine. Okay, just a waste of my time. Out of my head, of my mind. Say you wanna.
Damn, son. What's going on, people? If you don't know by now, I'll go by the name FIBRE, and I'm back with another reaction video, man. Yo, as you can see by the title, we got another Mafia style video today. This one here is called the Mafia Explained. Now before we get into this one, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for post notifications so you're alerted every time I upload, and without further ado, let's get it.
Oh shit, here we go again.
the Italian island of Sicily. Apart from its super weird flag and it looking like it's being kicked by a boot, Sicily is best known as the homeland of the Mafia. I know what images you have in your head right now. You're thinking about the cool looking men in designer suits and dark shades. You're thinking about The Godfather and Goodfellas and The Sopranos, maybe even The Simpsons. While all of that stuff surely is fine entertainment, you might want to know how the Mafia works in real life. So first, let's go back to...
I do know a little bit about the Mafia because I've been reacting to the Mafia style videos recently. So I know there's three main groups. You got Cosa Nostra, Camorra and 'Ndrangheta, and then they each have like different clans that branch off of them. They each control like a different region of Italy. But yeah, it's dope learning about the Mafia and it's cool, but I don't want to just react to like the negative things. So if you can let me know down below some positive things I can react to, man. But I do find this really interesting. I didn't really grow up on like Italian culture, and like I can hardly remember Godfather. So yeah, man, let's continue my journey of learning about the Mafia.
Sicily. In the 1860s, Sicily became part of the young state of Italy, and everyone was happy because that meant more investments, which meant more jobs, which meant more money, which meant more olives for everyone. But it also meant more bandits and vandals that stole your cattle and cut down your lemon trees. That had to stop, but Italy was still busy with learning how to nation state and couldn't be bothered with trivial things.
So, you see how in Sicily, Mafia originated there. Was there no Mafia in like mainland Italy already? So was it almost like the Mafia came and then they took different region? I don't know. Let's see. Maybe we'll see how it works.
Like keeping people safe. So the people hired guards and local gangs to watch their stuff instead. The gangs had one great advantage. While a guard can only watch one place at a time, a gang can keep many more places safe without even being there. They only had to convince people that if they messed with their clients, they will be messed with big time. And it worked out great. The gangs proudly did their duty in promoting the greater good and protecting the weak and powerless. Just kidding. Of course they found ways of making even more money. They didn't just help the people that wanted their protection, but also everyone else. Of course a gang's generous protection was worth a little pocket money to the people. And while they already...
So they kind of force people to have protection. Like the things you see in movies, like someone will come into your business, I don't know, and say, you need to pay me for protection. And then if you say no, they start to mess up your establishment. Like they start to ruin your business. So you kind of have no choice. It's mad. Like it's the ultimate business strategy when you think about it.
Control the territory, the gangs tried doing all kinds of other stuff that made them more money. They eventually got so successful that they ended up running about half the island. Those gangs became known as the Mafia. So as I've told you, the Mafia is at home in Sicily. But because it was so good at what it was doing and because people loved themselves some gangster movies, the Mafia became known all over the world. But the meaning of the name started to change. People sometimes use a word incorrectly a few times, and if they do that often enough, it somehow becomes correct again. And that's how we ended up with the Russian Mafia, the Japanese Mafia, the Mexican Mafia, and so on. All without these organizations having anything to do with the Sicilian Mafia apart from being crime syndicates. And despite the word Mafia getting so much attention,
it's very clear to see like the Mafia influenced the world heavily. Everyone started to have their own Mafia, each country, just because of the name holds a lot of weight kind of thing.
Used by its members. Mafiosi are much more likely to call it Cosa Nostra, which simply means our thing. and fits a lot better into the stealthy ways of the Mafia. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's take a look at the cogs and gears. What we mean by Mafia isn't one clearly defined organization. It's a bunch of loosely associated clans called families or cosche. The heads of different families form a Mafia commission, which helps to coordinate things concerning more than one family. Although it's called a family, kinship is absolutely optional. It's only called that because members have a strong bond with each other, and as is the case with every other family, you can't just quit the Mafia. Every family has its own territory, where its will is de facto the law. A family holds a kind of monopoly on violence in that area.
So if you want to leave the Mafia, is that punishable by death or something, or are you just exiled? I don't know how it works.
Them to completely control businesses, be it a little grocery store or a math lab. If you operate a business in a family's territory and you're not willing to pay them, you're in for a very bad time. At the top of a family, there's the boss. He's the big cheese. He manages the whole family and its business. Then there's the consigliere, an advisor to the boss that keeps him in check. Number 2 of the organization is the underboss. If the boss goes to prison, the underboss takes his place. One step down the ladder is the capodecina. He's a kind of group leader of ordinary members of the family, the soldiers. To become a member, every applicant has to go through the traditional initiation ritual. This involves an interrogation, the reciting of a blood oath to never betray the family, and holding a burning piece of paper. You know, all that fun stuff. If you want to make it...
A blood oath? What do you mean by blood oath? Do you have to cut yourself or something? I don't know. That's mad.
The top of the organization, you need to work hard, do as you're told, and maybe one day...
I know gangs and like Italian Mafia ain't the same thing, but like gangs in America, like if you want to be a blood or a crip, I'm sure you have to get jumped in. Like your associates have to like beat you up. And then I don't know how it works, but a blood oath, that just sounds mad to me.
You might be elected boss by your colleagues. That's right. Mafia bosses and consiglieri are democratically elected by all members of the family, usually once every year. In small families, that might happen with a simple show of hands. In larger ones, it's eerily similar to a normal political election. Mafiosi call each other men of honor. Seeing as the Mafia is an organization full of criminals, you need something to keep them in line. And that thing is honor. It is a mafioso's daily bread. A mafioso has honor if he always puts the family first and abides by its rules. If he is bad at mafiaing, his honor suffers. And without his honor, a mafioso is nothing. If he breaks the unwritten rules of the family, he stands to lose much more than just his honor. His violation will be laid out in a mafia court, which often doesn't end well for the defendant. Of all the rules you don't want to break, Omerta is probably the most important. Omerta is a code of silence that forbids mafiosi to speak about the Mafia to anyone who is not a member. That's why mafiosi talk as little as possible, and even then rarely unambiguously. This rule goes so far that a mafioso can't even introduce himself to another one. Introductions can only be made by a third mafioso who already knows them both. This accounts for some pretty weird situations. Though mafiosi are very secretive, good relations to public servants, especially politicians, are absolutely essential. Without people ready to look the other way for a little fee or a few favors, the Mafia would have never even made it through its infancy. So it really pays off for them to keep politicians happy. Nowadays the Mafia isn't that big of a deal anymore. Not after a few good officials sent 360 Mafia members to prison practically single-handedly in the Maxi trial.
Wow. What? Hold on.
Politicians happy. Nowadays the Mafia isn't that big of a deal anymore. Not after a few good officials sent 360 Mafia members to prison practically single-handedly in the Maxi trial.
Wow. Let me know down below if you want me to check out. Just let me know if you want me to check out the Maxi trial, but just let me know what videos I should react to, man. I'm having a hard time finding some videos, so recommend some good videos. I'm definitely gonna watch Gomorrah, don't worry, I'm definitely gonna watch it. But yeah, man, let's go.
Like that because it was huge. They even built a completely new courthouse/bunker for it. After the verdict, the Mafia turned against the state in an all-out war. To make it short, the Mafia lost and hasn't been the same ever since. In the meanwhile, fellow Italian crime syndicates have caught up to or even overtaken the Mafia in influence and revenue. After more than 150 years of plaguing the island of Sicily, the Mafia has gotten much...
They say there's other crime groups that's taken over from the Mafia.
Meanwhile, fellow Italian crime syndicates have caught up to or even overtaken the Mafia in influence and revenue. After more than
I didn't even know there was other like syndicates. I thought the Mafia was the one. Like it just had many different clans branching off of it, like I said. But okay.
In 50 years of plaguing the island of Sicily, the Mafia has gotten much quieter. But it's still there. and it will be for some time. And that's about it. If you like this video, feel free to like and share it. If you want to tell me just about anything, please do so in the comments. Thanks for checking in. That's all, peeps.
Damn, son. Yeah, man, that was a decent video. I'll even rate this video. I rate this like a 7 out of 10. This is like a video if you don't know anything about the Mafia, but I do know a little bit about the Mafia. The only new things I really learnt in this is like about the Maxi trial. I did hear about it before this video, but I didn't know it was responsible for putting away 350 mafioso. That's crazy. That's a lot of people to be like prosecuted in one case. That's crazy. But yeah, man, let me know what videos you want me to react to. Turn on the post notifications so you're alerted every time I upload. Yeah, it's been your boy FIBRE, and I'm out. Peace. Do your dance and go ham. Turn a hater to a fan. Grab your hips and wave your hand. Damn. Do your dance and go ham. Turn a hater to a fan. Grab your hips and wave your hand.